Yo, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to be talking about how to stop getting screwed over, aka how to stop getting fucked over. Because people will fuck you over, and it's bound to happen. If it hasn't happened to you already, it's bound to happen. So it happens all the time, everywhere, and all types of people do it. I'm going to be talking about how to stop getting fucked over by relationships, friendships, bosses, coworkers, because all these people are bound to screw you over if you let them. I'm going to be doing a 3-step process. So I'm going to be explaining why it happens in general, like the psychology slash the reasoning why it happens to begin with. Then I'm going to be going over the fundamentals you need to protect yourself. And then third, I'm going to explain the actual ways to stop getting screwed over. So everybody has their own agenda, like in general. Even I have my own agenda, you know? So your boss, the whole point of your boss, the whole way a company works is they want the most amount of profits. They want you to give them the most amount of profits and paying you the least amount. Doesn't mean they're a bad person, doesn't mean anything. It's just the way it works. That's a good business model, right? So of course your boss is always going to be looking for ways to, kind of screw you over, but like low key in a nice way. That way they can make as much profit as possible from you. So you got to know that. Even friendships have like hidden agendas, even if they're like not like a dark hidden agenda, but like, you still hang out with people for selfish reasons. Almost everything people do in life is selfish, and that's fine because that's just the way, it's natural, right? Like you hang out with a friend because they make you feel good, because it's good to be in their presence, things like that. So even relationships, like you feel good being with them. Like if there wasn't for that feeling of feeling good being with them, you wouldn't actually like really care about them. You know what I mean? So yeah, people have their own agendas. Coworkers, sometimes they'll be your friend just because they're bored at work, which is fine. Like, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, everybody has their own agendas, even yourself. You know it, I know it. So once you understand that, you can go in this, okay, understanding everyone has their own agenda, can't take things personally, right? It doesn't matter who you are. If you let someone do something, they will do it, especially if it's like screwing you over or taking advantage. Even if it's the nicest person, or maybe there's some people that actually won't, but for the majority, like 97% of people who you hang out with, or if you give them the chance, they will screw you over. Even if it's like subconsciously, they'll start doing things. Like, for example, let's say that you're always doing all the work at work. Like, you always want to be the guy that, like, helps everyone out. Then people are just going to start being like, oh, hey, Israel, do you think you can do this? Or, hey, Israel, you think you can cover this shift? And, if you say yes all the time, you're yes man, then, yeah, they're going to basically give you all the work, right? They're going to screw you over. And it's kind of your fault because you're literally letting them. You're not setting any boundaries. You're not telling them, hey, no, this, and that. So yeah, that's one reason why people end up getting screwed over. So don't be that person. Also, humans, like, we're really good at adapting to things. Like, we'll adapt to anything. Your body, right, based off what you put it on, like if you put it in any scenario, it'll usually adapt pretty quickly, or it'll take a while, but it'll adapt eventually. That's why sometimes, like, you'll think like, oh my God, waking up at this time is so hard. But then after doing it for like a week or two, it's like, okay, it feels like second nature, right? That's because your body adapts to everything. Or not everything, but majority of things. So the same way like humans adapt to that stuff, we also adapt to like being a little mañosos, like being like a little like, oh, okay, I can get away with this. So let's see how far I can push it. But you're not thinking it like that always. Sometimes it's subconsciously. So, right, let's say, okay, it's like when you start at work, right? You start at work, at first you're working really hard, you want to be really good, you want to make sure the bosses like you want your coworkers to like you want the customers to like you. But after a while, you kind of start to like, ease off the hard work. You kind of start to slack a little. I don't know, you might not clean the plates as well, depending on what you do. Maybe you won't be as nice to people all the time. You'll be a little, you might start getting like 5 minutes late to work, or then like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Yeah, you start to adapt on things. Like, you start to adapt to things of that nature, right? So it's the same way with people. Like, if you let them, they'll slowly adapt and start treating you the way you allow people to treat you. Adaptation, right? That's literally, it's pretty basic stuff. Like, just don't let people step over you, pretty much. Then there's also people who are actually just, you know, fucking dickheads, or they're actually just out to, not even out just for you, but they're just bad people in general. So obviously you can't let them mess you up. So now we're gonna go into basically the fundamentals. Like, these are fundamentals, guys. You need to have these in your life, not just to not get screwed over. These fundamentals will help you out tremendously, like tremendously. They'll help you out like on your day-to-day life, relationships, at work, just in general. You're gonna feel a lot better once you start doing all these things. And some of these things, it's like, it sounds really corny, it sounds cheesy, you probably heard it a million times, but you got to get these fundamentals, man. All right, so number one, you got to have self-respect. Like, you got to respect yourself. There's people out here that think poorly of themselves, and trust me, nothing good ever comes from thinking poorly of yourself. Now, being self-analytic, or like basically checking yourself, that's good, right? You want to hold yourself accountable, but you have to have self-respect. You got to see yourself as like, okay, I'm worthy. I can do anything anyone else can do, right? That's the way you got to think. Even if you actually can't at the moment, doesn't matter. Just think it like that. I can do anything. If he can do it, I can do it. So you got to love yourself, obviously, because if you don't love yourself, you're always going to have like insecurities. You're not really going to be comfortable in yourself. You got to be comfortable in your own skin. And you got to be comfortable being able to go out. You got to feel good about yourself, because it radiates. People can tell when you don't like yourself or when you feel awkward. It just projects a bunch of bad signals, you know. It's just not good. Learn to love yourself. If you guys need a video on that, I'll make one on that, just on that itself. But yeah, learn to love yourself. Do whatever it takes, right? Just treat yourself good, because that's one of the most important things. You're literally with yourself all the time. Like, you're gonna be with yourself, so why would you be hating yourself? It's a dumb way to live, you know. All right, so another thing on the list, have an ego. So I know this is going to be a little controversial, but I think having an ego is something that's underrated and something that's also like overhated. You know what I'm saying? So having an ego, I think if you have an ego that you can control, you know when to stop, it can be super beneficial in life in general. Because, for example, so my ego is a little too high. Like, I need to lower it down. That's something I need to work on. But having an ego has saved me so many times in these kinds of social situations where someone's trying to, you know, screw me over, and I'm just like, no, it's not gonna happen. And you don't even have to say it aggressively. I say it passively, like, no, that's not gonna happen, because I'm not gonna let them do that to me, you know. I'm not gonna let you treat me that way. I'm not gonna put up with that. Simple as that. And having an ego is also super beneficial for other reasons. So, for example, right, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, because my ego will make me do it. Like, I'll literally do it, because if not, my ego is going to be damaged. So, like, I'll work out because of my ego. I'll do this because of my ego, right? So, I don't know if that's good or if that's bad, but it works for me like a charm, literally. It'll push me through. It'll give me the confidence. It'll give me the motivation to do things I have to do. And I think in certain situations, it'll give you the bravery and the courage to basically stand up to bullies, like in real life. Bullies, I guess, you know, ops, whatever you want to call them, right? Your awkward situations during life. So one thing you want to remember, this is a fundamental you want to have, we are all equal as human beings. Now, that doesn't mean we're all the same, but like, there's people that are better. You need to know when people are better than you at certain things, right? Like, I might be better than you. I might be better than you at certain, I don't know, certain things, right? You might be better than me at certain things. It's just the way life is, right? Everyone has their talents, their goals, their different skills, right, that they have. But other than that, pretty much everyone is equal. The only thing that separates us is situations, like the situations you are in, and the choices you make. But either way, you must treat everybody the same. You must treat everyone and see everyone as an equal. You cannot see yourself above someone else, and you cannot see them below someone else. You can't see yourself below someone else either. We're all equals. Remember that. That'll help you navigate in life. especially for when you're in situations where there's like a higher authority. You're gonna know to like, okay, you're not better than me. We're equals, so you can't treat me that way. Okay, like if you're gonna talk to me with respect. If not, I'll leave. Simple as that. You don't have to put up with anyone's crap, whether that be family members, friends, bosses, coworkers. It doesn't matter. Hold yourself up to a higher standard. Have boundaries, dude. Boundaries, man. Boundaries will save you from so much. And I don't know why most people don't have boundaries. Boundaries are sometimes seen as toxic in like relationships. Fuck that. Boundaries are your best friends in relationships, at jobs, with friends, anything in life, right? Boundaries. You are allowed to have your own boundaries. You are allowed to have any boundary you want on yourself, because boundaries are just what you're willing to tolerate, right? That's all it is. I'm not willing to tolerate this. I'm not willing to tolerate that. That's my boundary. You cannot enter this space. Learn to have boundaries because they're going to protect you. It's what you're willing to put up with. So there's some things that you are willing to put up with. There's some things you don't. Make those boundaries crystal clear. Crystal clear to anywhere you go. If you're not comfortable doing something, let them know. I'm not doing that. That's not, there's some things that I will not do. So I'll give you examples in a little bit. Okay, another fundamental you have, don't be scared. Don't be scared of friends, relationships, bosses, coworkers. Like, dude, they're not going to do anything to you. They're really not. Like, worst case scenario, they might get a little mad. They might get a little upset. They might get a little angry. But, like, I highly doubt they're going to beat you up. And even if they do beat you up, that's why you got to learn self-defense. And even if they do beat you up, like, I mean, we're literally in America. There's like a whole legal system here. So like no one's actually going to do anything to you. So don't be scared, because when you're scared of people, they can sense that, and they'll take advantage of it if you allow them to, right? Like if you're scared of your parents, they'll know. If you're scared of your girlfriend, she'll know. If you're scared of a boss, he'll know, and he'll definitely use that, to their advantage. So don't be scared. Learn what it's going to take to not be scared of people, and then don't be scared. And you're going to see like everything's going to work out much better than if you're living life timid and scared and, oh my God, what if they think this? What if they think that? Okay, what if he gets mad because I said no? Doesn't matter. Just don't be scared. So now we're going to be going over like direct ways that you can actually avoid getting screwed over in general, because these are the things that are going to help you. These are the ways you're like almost like your weapons against people screwing you over. So we're going to go with the first topic, which is boundaries. Boundaries are your best friends in anything in life. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're working, right? You can't work Sundays because, I don't know, religious reasons or anything else, right? Let's say you can't work Sundays. You tell them from the beginning, okay, I'm free all week. I can work from you Monday through Saturday, but I cannot work Sundays, right? That's your boundary. So if they tell you, oh, can you cover Sundays? Sorry. So if they tell you, oh, can you cover me on Sunday? Or, oh, you think you can work Sunday? You tell them, oh, no, I'm not available for Sunday. Remember, we talked about that earlier? And you got to be firm, right? The easiest way to do this is to prevent it, right? The easiest way to keep respect is to prevent disrespect. So as soon as they ask that, shut it down. No, I can't. Remember, we spoke about that earlier? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fine. So you'll stop it right off the bat. But let's say you let it slip, right? 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, they're going to start telling you, okay, well, you came last Sunday. You think you can come next Sunday as well? And you tell them, oh, I'll see. And then, and you end up working on Sundays. And then you have to be like more firm. So you got to be, hey, I remember we talked about it earlier. Oh, by the way, when you go about talking about these things and setting your boundaries, you don't go aggressively, because that's dumb. You don't talk anyone aggressively. You talk in a passive voice, but you're stern. So you'll say something like this. Oh, hey, by the way, I want to talk about my schedule change. Yeah, remember how I told you I couldn't work Sundays? Well, you keep scheduling me on Sundays, so I'm going to need that to change. Or something along those lines, right? Or like, I told you I couldn't work Sundays, and you guys have been putting me on the schedule, so we're going to need to figure out a way to arrange that. Something along those lines. And then they're going to go back and forth. Just stay stern. And then if for whatever reason they don't want to do it, then let me see, that's when you retain attention. So you either, start doing a little bit less as well at work, find some way to like make it clear that you will not take that. You either quit a job if they start being like really pushy, or just change positions or something. Find some way to make it clear that you're not playing around, right? When every time you confront anybody, do it passively, do it calmly, but do it sternly. Because anytime that you get mad or get angry, people don't take you seriously. They just think you're either crazy, like they think you're weird, people aren't going to respect you if you're aggressive. But if you speak it calmly and make your points very clear, that you basically show them the screenshots, be like, look, I did this, I told you this, and you're acting this way. Sometimes it'll even make them a little embarrassed. But since you said it so nicely and so like professionally, it's like they can't even get mad at you. You know what I'm saying? So use that to your advantage. Let me see. Now, one of the best things you have in general is your attention. Your attention is so precious. Now, that's your attention for anything, right? Even for your work, because they're paying you to be attentive and to be there. So you being there is valuable to them, even if they don't want to admit it. So anytime that you feel disrespected, you feel like someone is, putting you under the bus, you retain attention. If all else fails, you retain attention. So that goes with anything. So your job, they keep messing you up, they keep doing this, they keep putting you under the rug. Okay, you talk to them, nothing's changing. Well, that's where your power of attention comes. You basically eliminate yourself from that area, and then you go do something else. Yeah, you don't take disrespect. There's millions of different jobs here, especially if you're in the US, because we're in the land of opportunities. So there's millions of different jobs for you to choose, for you to be putting up with, some shitty boss. So that's one way to do it. In relationships, dude, it is cake. Anytime that people are like being rude, disrespectful, or you told them not to do something and they're doing it, if you already talked to them and they're not changing, just retain your attention. Just either ghost them, break up with them, tell them like, okay, if you're not going to do it, then let's break up. Because think about it. You need to show people that they need to respect you, or else you're just not going to be there. And two things will happen. They will either respect you or they won't. But either way, you're winning, because they'll either respect you or you leave and you're not dealing with their crap anymore. That's a really good way to live. You can do that with friends, family members too, because people think that because they're your family, they have an exception. There's no exceptions, right? Just because it's family doesn't mean they're able to get away with all this messed up stuff that people do sometimes. And this all happens because you have higher standards. Elevate your standards. Like, you want to live a good life. You want to be surrounded by good people. You don't want to deal with all this like low energy stuff. No, you don't have time for that. You only live one time, dude. Just one time. And then one of the things that will help you immensely is mean what you say. Everything you do, mean what you say. If you say something, you mean it. So if you say, I don't like when you do that, and I don't like when you do that, or I don't like when you say things like that to me, you mean it, right? Say, if you do that one more time, I'm not talking to you ever again. And then don't talk to them ever again if they actually do say that. Because then they're thinking, oh, well, this guy, he lets anything slide, so I'll just say it again, or I'll just do it again. No, just retain your attention. It goes back to the same thing. Retain your attention. Okay, fine, bye. You don't even have to say it like, rudely, like, all right, bye. You can just be like, okay, sounds good, and then just never talk to them again. Now, two things will happen. They'll either respect you, or you win because you're already gone. You've removed that toxic person or that toxic coworker, whatever, that toxic situation. You removed it, so you're literally fine now. Basically, to wrap the video up, in simple terms, to stop getting screwed over, you got to elevate yourself. Basically, love yourself more, respect yourself more, mean what you say, build up a healthy ego. Let's see. Remember that we're all equal. Have boundaries. Don't be scared of people. And with these fundamentals, you will stop getting screwed over because you have now improved your mindset, and that's going to flow out. You'll no longer tolerate crap. And just by fixing yourself, you're going to be knowing when to cut people off, when to retain attention, what to do in what situation, and you're going to see people will not be able to screw you over nearly as easily. And trust me, because I know, because I've been screwed over so many times in all areas of life, just like many of us have. And I've screwed people over too. So, you know, we've all done it. But there's one way that you can start basically implementing these things in your life, and you're going to see people are not going to be able to screw you over. They'll either screw you over and you'll remove them so they'll no longer be a problem, or they're going to start respecting you just the way you deserve to be respected. Sorry. So yeah, I hope this helped. Leave any comments, any questions down in the comments. And I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and take care.